been icons of the pyramids have long been icons of ancient Egypt, but a new archaeological find has just revealed a pretty surprising historical twist. Ancient Egyptian pyramids are assumed to be reserved for the elite for a long time. Being laid to rest in a pyramid is traditionally considered to be an honor for the wealthy. However, a new study indicates a pretty contrasting theory. The burials at the tombs suggests low-status workers could have merited a place in the pyramid tombs as well. Now, the findings published in the Journal of Anthropological Archaeology could reshape our view of these ancient mausoleums. Burials at the tombs suggests low-status workers could have merited a place in the pyramid tombs as well. Now, the findings published in the Journal of Anthropological Archaeology could reshape our view of these ancient mausoleums. The Tombos is an archaeological site located
Workers kept next to masters. Workers kept next to masters to serve them in afterlife. Workers kept next to masters to serve them in afterlife. Study.
Near the famous Nile River in modern-day Sudan that shares the border with Egypt. Researchers have unearthed human remains in ancient villages. Tombos, in fact, became an important colonial hub after the Egyptian conquest of Nubia around 1500 BC. The study further reveals that while some of the skeletons at tombos belong to people who have done little physical activity, others have been far more active through their lives.
Now these, Exodus 1:1, now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. Verse 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Verse 11, start at 10, come on, let us deal wisely with them. Let's start at 9. And he said unto his people, I'll just read through. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters. Taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. So when you come back here, it says skeletons hint at a diverse pyramid story. Workers kept next to masters to serve them in afterlife, which I believe this was dealing with their so-called wisdom, right? As it just pointed out in verse 10. So I'll get into the point of the lesson in just a minute. moment.
Scientists say that those with major physical activity did not live the life of a rich and privileged royal. Instead, they were workers who lived physically demanding lives. However, they were also rich and privileged in their lives. Scientists say that those with major physical activity did not live the life of a rich and privileged royal. Instead, they were workers who lived physically demanding lives. However, they were also privileged royal. Instead, they were workers who lived physically demanding lives. However, they were also privileged royal. Instead, they were workers who lived physically demanding lives. However, they were also laid to rest in pyramids along with the nobility. The low-activity individuals, on the other hand, were those who had lived in luxury, and the active individuals were the hard-working non-elites. Now, experts say that the wealthy luxury, and the active individuals were the hard-working non-elites. Now, experts say that the wealthy Egyptian elites had strictly different activity patterns from non-elites that make it easier to differentiate the two from their skeletal remains. From non-elites that make it easier to add strictly different activity patterns. Now, experts say that the wealthy Egyptian elites had strictly different activity patterns from non-elites that make it easier to differentiate the two from their skeletal remains. One of the theories that Egyptian elites had skills were the hard-working non-elites. Now, experts say that the wealthy Egyptian elites had strictly different activity patterns from non-elites that make it easier to differentiate the two from their skeletal remains. One of the theories that scientists suggest is perhaps the workers were laid to rest next to the masters so that they could serve them in the afterlife as well. The study has also raised questions of whether these mixed status burials are unique to tombs or there is more than what meets the eye.
So I believe that, well, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to say, Kahala Mla Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakadash, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. All right. What I just said is all praises to the Most High, who people call God, whose true name is Yahweh in the ancient Hebrew tongue. That's his true name, and the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, who people call Jesus, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. Bless you, Yahweh. Bless you, Yahweh Shai. Wahab and Kodash being holy, Rakab being spirit. Peace and blessings to the elect, all those, and hopefully elect those awakening to the faith, this truth, and fighting this good fight of faith. Much love and respect to the brothers, the true men, the true brothers at the Great Millstone Church. Salutations, and chiefly as well to the elder apostles at the Great Millstone Church. All right, so shalom. So before I get into this, Ezekiel 6:5, and I will lay the dead carcasses of the children of Israel before their idols, and I will scatter your bones round about your altars. So their idols is the people that they worship, right? Things that they put over themselves and the Most High. The Lord said he would take the children of Israel's bones and lay them next to those very things. All right. And it says to serve idols. When you get into the Jacenius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, the meaning of it. All right. So, and that word is galwa. All right. So that's pretty much that. So I believe that these bones, through the spirit, right?
Egyptians are assumed to be reserved for the elite for a local twist. Ancient Egyptian pyramids are assumed to be reserved for the elite for a long time. Being laid to rest in a pyramid is traditionally considered to be an honor for the wealthy. However, a new study indicates a pretty contrasting theory. The burials at the tombos suggests low-status workers could have merited a place in the pyramid tombs as well. Now, the findings published in the Journal of Anthropological Archaeology could reshape our view of these ancient mausoleums.
Yeah, why? Because the children of Israel is more to it, more than to the story of the physical Egypt, you can actually go back to and somewhat learn by its remains and the way it's, it's the fact that it was erected, the way it was erected, again, and the fact that because of the fact of this being erected, because of the way it was erected, it was built, and mostly being simply because they just see that it's real, and all their discoveries is pointing to what's been said to be real, which is this Bible, the Heavenly Father, and the fact that He had a people who were said to be here. So I believe that these bones of these poor workers were the Israelites, and go figure, this will come out right 3 hours ago as of today, which is March so-called 21st, 2020, the year 2025. And it's today marking the end, basically the official end of the, we're in the Shabbat right now, the Shabbat for this month. But we're in the end of the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, all coming to a close, and it's our Shabbat as well at even. So, the really it started at even yesterday. Started, ended at even. But it happened to fall on a Shabbat. But nonetheless, the Lord will have this come out during the Passover, which the Passover, right, was instituted for the people of Israel in the land of Egypt, who were the workers, who were slaves in the land of Egypt. So the fact this will come out during it, it's just, you can't make it up. So I believe through the Spirit, the Lord wanted this video, us to see this video. He showed me this video, through the Spirit. The Holy Spirit had me see it, click on it, to put it out, and to show that this is a tell-all sign, because why would they even find this relevant if these were just poor workers in Egypt long gone? Because the Lord, he said at the end knowledge will be increased, and all is is coming out, which I'm gonna title this series pretty much called Everything is Coming Out. So that's what this is. So basically, that's why I believe this, and this is basically all prophecy. It's a shoe of the Lord showing Himself, because they wouldn't think this is relevant if it wasn't tied to nothing relevant, And then you even got the Amalekites, them getting ready to so-called twist. I ain't gonna say celebrate, twist. The Pesach, the Passover. I believe in April, but we just held the real one through the Spirit. The brothers under the doctrine of the Great Millstone Church. All right. So again, this is all relevant and of the Lord. Again, let's go ahead. And since I say that, let's go to Daniel in the 12th chapter. It's going to be fairly short. This is Daniel 12, and Salakia 4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book." And seal the book. What's the book? The Scriptures. Even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, right? And knowledge shall be increased, right? So people gonna be trying to figure out what's going on while everything that they're trying to figure out is actually being revealed. It's being brought for them. People having whys and reason, trying to find a reason in the things, and all of that is coming out before them. You know, through who? His servants, the prophets. The Lord is speaking it. All right, and through whom again? His servants, the prophets, like He did with Ezekiel here. You know, the Lord speaking on the things, you know, that you're seeing, you're gonna see. The whys and reasonings through the prophets, His servants, the prophets. Like that's it again, like Ezekiel 6:5, and I will, you know, do this. He said that through Ezekiel. So through the Spirit, let's go to the book of Sirach. All right, also known as Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, which is in fact canon. This is Sirach 36 and 6. It says, "Shew new signs and make others shew new signs and make other strange wonders." That's exactly what this was. It's a strange sign, a new sign, right? And a wonder. They're wondering about it. A strange wonder. Glorify thy hand. See that? And thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Exactly. He's going to give those of the right hand the ability to show forth the Lord's works, His wondrous works. Starting with Yahweh Shah, the angels, and the rest of the angels on earth, which is, His men set up. Those that are of Israel, the Israelites. All right? Bringing all this before you. Starting with, the elder apostles. Again, it says, have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. And thou, as thou was sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. See that? So the Lord, they're going to start reverencing, and showing, us how real the Lord is and how real this all is. Like we was used to show things happening to us. That's through the Lord having things happening to us. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God. So there you go. So this is exactly what is going on. It's a sign. It's a strange wonder. And that's what it is. So, and I will, Ezekiel 6:5, and I will lay the dead carcasses of the children of Israel before their idols. See that? Which in the video he said that these people were laid next to their masters. These poor workers.
The Tombos is
workers kept next to masters to serve them in afterlife. And the Lord, he will have that happen, but then these bones will be brought out, but not the bones of the masters, the bones of the workers. But who built these cities? The bones of the workers. And the Lord showing us, right? The Lord showing us not only how real this was, but how severe it truly was. Like he had told Moses to tell us. He told one of his servants, which was Moses. What this is. Salakia, man. Anyway, Israel multiplies in Egypt. So when you jump back down, right, and it makes sense because it says in the 7th verse, first of all, the children of Israel, they were in Egypt. And they multiplied in Egypt in the 1st verse. Every tribe. And then it says, and Joseph, he died there, and all the progenitors. right? And the children of Israel, because the only bones they took out, I believe, was it was Joseph's bones, I believe, because that's what he asked for. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, it says, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. So it was more Israelites there than any other, which is a race, than any other race. And they even confirmed it. It says, verse 9, and he said unto his people, who? The new king, the new master, behold, right? And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. So it was more Israelites in Egypt than the people running Egypt. All right? Truly, chiefly. All right? Now, Joseph wasn't running Egypt. He was under. All right? So that's that. And it went on to their way of getting that under control was what? Verse 11, they did set over them taskmasters. See that? Taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. See that? But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And it says, that's the point. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made, because that goes into the point where he said the bones between the two were so different of the elite and the physical, the activities of the bones of the elite, right? The heathens, etc., was so different from, the workers, which again clearly were the children of Israel, I believe, was because of the different physical activities, because they worked so much more than them,
with the hard work
to where their bones was changed.
Non-elites. The experts say that the wealthy Egyptian elites had strictly different activity patterns from non-elites that make it easier to differentiate the two from their skeletal remains.
Crazy. So you could tell who was a slave off their bones. That says a lot. But that advocates the scriptures, the Heavenly Father. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. See that? In mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. See that? And that wears on the people. That wears on the body. So go figure that will show up in the bones. I think I got one more. We're going to go to Exodus 12, which was a memorial of all that. Right? This is the Lord saying he's going to destroy, instituting the Passover. He smote the land of Egypt, which again, all of this is a monument of their wickedness. Like how it says, leaving behind a memorial of their wickedness. And I believe, I know that's in the Apocrypha, but let me jump down real quick. So this is a memorial of redemption. So remember when the Lord redeemed us, and how? Through smiting the Egyptians for what they did. That's verse 3, through us having the blood. See that? And you shall observe this thing for ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. See that? And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. It says, and it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by the service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. and the people bowed their head in worship. See that? So what I want to do now is I want to get the Lord saying we was going to pretty much eat the memorial of this, eat things that will commemorate this, like that the rigor that we was made to serve them, you know, because it was that serious. And again, this video will help show that you cannot make this up. It says, verse 8, and they shall eat in the flesh that in that night roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. And what was the bitterness symbolizing? The bitter that we was made to serve these people. You know, the bitter servitude, slavery. All right. So yeah, that's that. So I want to go right here, basically in this Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 5. Moreover, the nations in their wickedness, in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous, right? Who is that? Wisdom. And preserved him blameless unto God, and kept him strong against his tender compassions toward his son. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man, who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities. Dealing with what? Sodom and Gomorrah, of whose wickedness even to this day the waste land that smoketh is a testimony. See that? And plants, see, proof, witness, and plants bearing fruit that never came to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul. See that? For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. See that? But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her. So basically having Egypt set up, right? Surprising historical twist revealed, right? Again, everything is coming out. Even the bones of slaves, that's like house slaves. You know, it's just powerful that the masters, the slave owners, the slave masters, the masters, they will have the poor workers' bones next to them because they wanted to make, that was their way of being wise, thinking that was going to make them come back and still rule over us. Because, you know, which is spiritual, because in reality, Egypt would come back, but it wouldn't be through these people. It would be through chiefly Esau, the so-called white man. So yeah, that's basically it. When you know, these are signs, and we telling y'all all this stuff happened, and the Lord, He requires that which is past, man. So that's why it was requested in Sirach 36 chapter to let thy prophets be found faithful, and fill Jerusalem with thy holy oracles. You know, give testimony, that unspeakable oracles, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. So we, you know, reward them that way for me, and let thy prophets be found faithful, in the 16th verse. So yeah, that's basically it. And what's going to happen? All for the purpose of the Lord smiting the head of these rulers, right, of the heathens that say it ain't no other but them, right? And the Lord gathering, plus through the Lord gathering the tribes of Israel together and inheriting us from the beginning. Because they about to go into slavery for what they did. So this is a testimony of what y'all did, and it's true, and the Heavenly Father got this going on. So this would come out during Passover, thus showing you the Lord's about to ride into Egypt again and do this, which is why we are to keep the Passover. You know? So call them like how Bashmi al-Shah. You know, everything coming out, man.
One of the theories that scientists suggest is perhaps the workers were laid to rest next to the masters so that they could serve them in the afterlife as well. The study has also raised questions of whether these mixed status burials are unique to tombs, or there is more than what meets the eye.
Crazy. Shalom.